Hey everybody, welcome to another Fallout Hobbies live stream. Ron here, and as always, Jules.
Hi guys.
So if you have any questions, comments, ask them. We will read them out loud and answer them in real time. Today we're going to do a little bit of Eldar stuff, Dark Eldar specifically, because I released a new stencil last week that people were asking for heavily, which was a smaller version of the Evil Elven Tribal stencil. Um, you can't really see it too much on the screen, but it's about half the size of the old stencil, so it's much more adept for making patterns on smaller vehicles and things like that. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to be using the hex mesh stencil, the medium size mecha hex mesh stencil, to do like a bluish hex mesh fade on the vehicle. Then I'm going to do some tribal on it. Alrighty. How's everyone's Thursday going so far? Good, I hope. If you've been getting the newsletters, you'll see that I started advertising. Well, Jules started advertising one of our other stores in there, which is Model Works, and that's one where I create aftermarket upgrade kits and conversion kits for Star Trek and Star Wars models. And this is a new one that came out 2 weeks ago, which was the Gorn Ship from the remastered TOS editions. So this is one of the new kits. I was pretty excited about this. I'm getting this thing painted up soon. And then one of the other ones that was really popular, which I don't even know if I can get it all under the screen, is this massive Dreadnought Conversion Kit with all the... I sell the upgrade pieces for the lower hull, the neck, the pylons, things like that. So, you know, that's something to check out if you're not familiar with it. There's some lights in the shuttle bay here that are pretty cool. Get this battery plug in here. I don't know how well you can see it, and I hit the camera. But there's lights all on the deflector dishes and stuff throughout the whole bottom. It's pretty cool looking. I was excited about that. Thing's big. It's like knocking everything over. But now back to something more miniature. Alright, so I'm working on this Venom. All I did, I like to paint Dark Eldar vehicles in separate pieces. Mainly because the color that I paint the hull is usually so dramatically different from the color of the piece that I paint that like inserts into it. It's just easier to do it this way than to like mask it off. I literally just primed it black. That's all it's at so far. But I am going to give it a fade here. I'm going to use some... I've got Sotek Green. I've got this really cool game color turquoise. Incubi Darkness. I've got a turquoise contrast color, which I'm going to put on kind of last. And then I've got Vallejo Game Pure Black. This is a very nice black, by the way. They're Mecha Black. It's kind of a little bit of a blue black, but it's very, very nice. All right, let me think how I'm going to do this first. I am going to use some Incubi Darkness just to get some of the highlights taken care of first. And then I'll get into the stencil. Scratch that. Maybe I won't use Incubi Darkness because I opened this up and it looks like it's dried out. I will make my own color with a turquoise. So basically Incubi Darkness is just dark turquoise. So I'm just going to mix up a little black and a little bit of turquoise and get pretty much the same color. Yeah, that's Needs to be just a shade darker, and then we're good to go. Yeah, that's Ink You by Darkness right there.
Gilbert Mondragon says, "Good afternoon, Ron Jules."
What's up, Gil? All I'm doing right now is just using this dark turquoise color, which is my own version of Ink You by Darkness, just to get the high areas. I'm not spraying into the shadows. I'm just spraying like the ridges, a little bit in the front there.
Johnny Bruin is checking in, and so is Joe Belding. Hey guys, what's up?
What's going on, guys? Okay, I'm just hitting the highlights there. There we go. That created some quick shadowing on it. Let that dry for a minute before I put the stencil on. Okay. Let's let that dry for a moment. I'm going to use the hex mesh stencil on that as soon as that dries. Clean out my airbrush real quick. I gotta buy a new airbrush. I beat this thing up already.
I almost thought about getting you a new airbrush for your birthday.
Oh yeah, it was my 40th birthday a couple of days ago, so now I'm officially an old fart. And I would have taken a new airbrush. That would have been cool. I do want to get another Sotar 2020. I definitely beat this one up, but I think I want to get an Iwata too, but only use that one just for like details.
Any particular reason why?
Iwata is really good for details, for detailing. I've been kind of daydreaming about what like a new hobby setup will look like at the house that we're gonna buy.
Mm-hmm.
Like with all nice paint racks and really good installed lighting. Just a better setup. All right. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm still gonna need another minute. So I'm gonna put the hex mesh stencil on. I'm gonna get it prepped right now. See, sometimes a couple little pieces might stick like this. Just stick it on the back of the pad and just do that. It just pops it right off. Oh, except for that one. That one doesn't want to come off. There we go.
Martin Hanshaw is checking in with us, and so is Jonas. Thanks for watching, guys.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I got one ready. Actually, I think one would be enough, honestly. I think if I just lay this one out across the vehicle, unless I want to do one in the front and do these ones separately.
Gil says, if you're looking for another Sotar, go to usaairbrushsupply.com.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
And Eric McIntyre says, how convenient, I'm starting my Venom on Sunday, laugh out loud. And, Gil also gave you a code for that website, Red Dragon. If you put it in at checkout, you save 10% off.
Sweet. I'm going to use it.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm going to use it because I do want to buy a new Sotar 2020. And I'll take whatever discounts I can get. Can you do me a favor?
What's up?
There's a pair of scissors over there, I believe.
Yeah.
Are they over there?
No, kids appear to have moved them.
Great. Okay. I'll just do this with a knife then. So I decided that I want to put these panels on separately on the wings, so I just cut the stencil in half. I know it's blasphemy, but you can do it if you want to apply the stencil in different ways. The only trick is I just want to make sure that the hex pattern aligns evenly on both sides. So what I'm using actually is there is a gemstone right here. I'm kind of using that gemstone as like an alignment point. Like I'm getting one hex over the gemstone and then following the straight line behind it. And that should, yeah, that makes it pretty much even on both sides. That way that pattern kind of continues. And I'm going to actually put it under here because I'm only going to be spraying over here and here. I'm not spraying here. And then I'm going to have the separate panel that's going to go up the front. Which again, I'm using the gemstones in the middle of the hull as the outline. You know, I need to take that down on that because I want to make sure the tips get in there. Taking time to really like align these stencils goes a long way because they look cool no matter how you put them on, really. But if you take the time to really get it nice and symmetrical, it just looks like a cleaner, more professional paint job. And these are self-adhesive, reusable multiple times, so they get a really nice, clean paint edge on there. Again, I'm going to have to curl these away. The back ones, that's okay. I'm just folding it over like that. There we go. I am going to start off with turquoise with just like a drop of black in it. So it's not as dark as the Incubi Darkness color that I mixed up, but so that it's not pure turquoise either. Because I want to do a little bit of a gradation on the turquoise color. So I'm not going heavy-handed. I'm not laying down large quantities of paint. It's very light. And then repeat the same process for each wing over here. Let's let that dry for a second. Just make sure the front's evenly distributed there. All right, I'm gonna clear my airbrush out while that's drying and then just use pure turquoise for the next layer. I know I'm a little bit of a Vallejo fanboy, but I do actually find their paints to be very nice to airbrush with. Especially their game colors and their mecha colors. They're pretty high saturated in pigment. which I feel once you thin them down and apply them like with an airbrush, you're still getting a very high pigment color, and it's not looking washed out or anything like that. Okay, that's just pure turquoise.
Alex Hare is checking in with us, and so is John Wilson.
What's up, guys? Now this is a gradation here, because I'm just kind of applying it to the front ends, not the whole stenciled area, just the front ends of it. And that little highlight at the top of the bridge there. Cockpit, I mean, not bridge. Sorry, I'm stuck in Star Trek mode because I've been building so many Star Trek models lately. Bridge. Cockpit. I remember I used to have a blog post back in the day, the Eye of Error blog, and there would be times where Google would like, not Google, but I'd take the blog post that I had and I'd also like share it on different forums like Bolter and Chainsword and stuff like that. And I would say something like cockpit, which is the real word for it, and it would get censored. And they'd be like, I get a warning, you cannot use foul language on this site. I'm like, dude, it's called a cockpit. Like what else do you want me to call it? It's a cockpit. Let's take these off. There's a very nice gradient there. Nice gradient there.
Greg Collins checking in with us today too. Thanks for watching, guys.
There we go. Alright, so I don't ever just leave it at the stencil job. I like to kind of tone it down a little bit afterwards. I'm going to use just a little bit of black to highlight some of the shadow areas.
Luke John Atkinson says, I'm going to be painting some Star Weavers and Void Weavers this weekend. Awesome.
Nice. I painted some Star Weavers and Void Weavers in a video a couple months back. So if you look through the archives, it's there if you're interested.
He says, got myself some stencils too. Awesome. From us, I presume, right?
I feel like I saw that order recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I don't remember everyone's name. We do process a lot of orders a week.
We just celebrated, I think, 13K.
Yeah, 13,000. And that's just on the one store. We're at what, like
Over
6,000 for Chapter Customizer, and we're at like 200 or something for ModelWorks at this point. It's a lot of orders. All right, there we go. So, using just a little bit of black and a very light hand, I was able to kind of bring this in and blend it in a little bit more.
He says it's fine. I'm in the UK, so I got them from a UK supplier, yeah. But I have used your stencils in the past, is what Luke says. Awesome.
Probably Anarchy models.
Yeah.
They're the main UK guys. We are still shipping to the UK, though, despite the Brexit taxes and everything like that.
How y'all doing over there with Brexit? We feel for you.
I feel like Brexit's just one big pain in the ass, but that's an American point of view on it. All right, and the last thing I'm going to do before I let this dry and we get to the tribal stuff is I really like to use contrast colors, but kind of as like a, I wouldn't say a glaze, but I kind of like to just add one extra layer of color on top of the stencil. So I'm using Pterodon Turquoise, which is a really nice turquoise color. And I've mixed it with just a little bit of Flow Improver, which I just buy kind of like just generic Flow Improver. This stuff really helps with washes and things like that, so you don't get like tide marks or anything on it.
Luke says that he's used our custom transfers for his Space Marines chapter. That's awesome. And if you ever want to show us pictures, we love to see what it turns out like, and we often share them on social media.
There we go. So all I've done is I just took some contrast colors, some Pterodon Turquoise, and just thinned it down a notch, and just kind of sprayed it over the whole job lightly, which I think added one more layer of depth to the color there. There we go. So that makes the whole like stencil job. Let me get it up to the camera here. Let me see how this is looking. We froze.
No, you're not frozen.
Not frozen? There we go. All right, so if I get it up to the camera, I'm trying to get it up close here. So now you can see where there's like a gradation on the hex mesh pattern, and then the contrast color kind of blends it in a little bit more. The camera, I feel like, adds a layer of contrast to everything, because then it looks a little bit more subtle in real life than it does on the camera. But yeah, so anyway, I'm happy with where it's at for that.
Scott Trusty's checking in with us too, and Luke says, yeah, they were great, really what I was looking for. I'll try and look back through my photos and get some pictures.
Awesome. We love seeing them. It's really weird because sometimes, like, when I design a stencil pattern or like a decal sheet, I'll have a very specific idea of what it would be used for, and then I'll see someone use them in a totally different way on like Instagram or something like that, and I'll be like, wow, holy crap, I never thought of using it like that. And it's kind of cool to see it, you know, take on a life of its own there. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 tribal stencils here. I'm going to do one across the bow and then one across the wing. I'm not going to apply it just yet. I'm going to give this thing a few minutes to dry, because that contrast color does take I want it to dry a little bit before I apply another thing to it. So
Oliver Gray and Chris Eilert are checking in with us now too. Hey guys.
What's up, guys? It's funny, you could even just apply some of these tribal markings as like stickers if you wanted to. If you're going for just pure white.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, if you really didn't trust your airbrushing skills, you could just spray the whole sheet of vinyl a color and just apply it like it's a sticker. That's what people like to say when they're mad at me. Can't believe that you can't ship out this sticker. But, whoa.
Luke says, anyway, guys, love watching your live feeds, but I have to get going. Take it easy. You too. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one. So this one right here, I'm going to apply on the bow, but I'm going to give it like another minute to dry. Let me just put something for it to kind of wait on. I'll just attach it to that until I'm ready to apply it. And then I need one for over here. That looks cool. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up this one, getting it ready for use.
I have curiosity, because you've been doing the whole model building, since you were a kid. How come some model kits come with like the die cut stickers versus like the water slide decals? Because I feel like only the transfers tend to give it like a more painted on effect. But why do they even use the other kind?
Are you mean like Gundams, for instance?
Yeah.
Well, Gundams are kind of like a halfway. They're not really like fully a model. They're more like Gundams are supposed to be kind of like a collector toy kind of thing.
Mm.
A lot of people paint them because they just look better painted. But Gundams will come with water slide transfers and with stickers. They'll give you both options most of the time. Old Gundams used to come with stickers and dry transfers, which are actually a real pain in the ass.
Mm.
Dry transfers are something that's kind of like an old school model thing that isn't really around anymore. But it's where you'd stick the piece of paper on the model and you'd basically get like a coin or your fingernail or a squeegee and you'd like rub the back end of it.
Huh.
And it would like stick like right to the model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was big with military models back in the day.
Mm.
And they look cool when applied properly, but they're a super pain in the ass and completely unforgiving.
Ah.
Like you can't reapply a dry transfer. Once it's applied, it's done.
So any wrinkles, bubbles, whatever,
you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is part of the reason they're not as popular as like decals are, for instance. If you buy anything that's like a model, like meant to be painted and not meant to be like a toy or something, you'll get only decals.
Mm.
But Gundams are kind of like kids will build Gundams and not paint them and use the stickers. You know what I mean? But like adults will buy them and paint them and then use like the decals. They give you like both options, kind of.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Okay, let's apply this. I'm going to really push down on this because I want this to be a clean paint edge. So we're really going to try to get that sucked in there. And then I'll use one for the other side. Let's see, only part of this will show, so which part of this is more interesting to show? Probably like that. Would be cooler, I think. Now break out the blue tape. And you start masking off anything you don't want to get sprayed.
That's why I really haven't tried airbrushing except for, I did that one terrain with like the chevrons and stuff because I just really overspray and like messing it up kind of scares me a little bit.
Can always be repainted. Can always be repainted. The eternal optimist over here.
Les Sutherland is checking in with us now too.
Hey, Les. Oh, last little bit, that little tip was sticking out right there. Alright, so on the other ones that I've been making, I have been painting the tribal kind of like a chrome color. So I think that's where I'm going to go today with this one. Okay. So I'm just going to use some Vallejo Model Air Chrome. It's one of my favorite colors. I use it for like so many different purposes. There's something weird happening with the tip of this, but it's alright. It'll work for now. Again, spray light. Don't drown it. Cool. But it's it. That's it. That's all you need. You don't want it to get too heavy. You don't want it to drip under the airbrush stencil. Light touch. I actually have like a massive Dark Eldar army. I gotta get that underway. Maybe I'll paint some incubi coming up soon.
Greg Brewster is checking in with us too this afternoon.
Hey, Greg.
What's up?
I'm going to give this like a minute before I peel it, just because I don't want to run the risk of having any wet paint start smearing. So you just want to give it like a minute. But we're pretty close to done here, so let's just give it a minute and then do the peeling and see how it looks. You can hang out with Skeletor while we're doing it. New fridge magnet that I'm pulling. Remember I picked this guy up at Jersey Fest?
Oh my gosh, that seems like such a long time ago.
It was, yeah. I still have a bunch of these different like monster heads that I've been painting up for like fridge magnets and stuff like that.
That was the last conference we were at before COVID
It was.
happened.
I would be very excited to go to it again if they have it this summer.
Fall. right?
Fall, yeah. It's usually the second week in September. If everything's good by then, I might do it.
Mm.
It wouldn't be too far from where we're moving. It would be Trenton. It would be like a
Yeah. Well,
5-minute drive.
Nova Open got canceled this year, but we will be at Nova Open next year for sure.
Yeah.
When they finally get that back going. Swing by our table and say hello.
We'll have so much stuff next Nova Open. Holy crap. With all the new products we've been putting out over the past year, plus like stencils and 3D stuff, I'm going to have to get some new racks for that.
Joshua Stapley is checking in with us too. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh. Okay.
Austin Lynn is checking in with us too.
Hey, Austin. Moment of truth here. I'm about to peel these stencils. Just get the blue tape off. Alright, let's do this. Perfect. Alright, that one was perfect. Let's do this one over here. Oh, there we go. There it is. So we got our Chrome tribal application. These stencils, the Elven Tribal Smaller, have been very popular. We sent out probably like 30 orders last week with them, and there's a whole batch of orders that are going out by tomorrow with them in it. So they're a very popular stencil, and especially if you're doing like, you know, Venom spam or have like a ton of jet bikes, or, you know, have some Yanari even, you could incorporate it. Oh, overspray. I forgot to tape that area. Look, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to tape that off right there. That's all right. I'll just clean it up with some black real quick.
Jarrett Hunt is checking in with us too. Hi, Jarrett.
Oh, there's like hardly anything. Airbrush is doing something weird. I gotta clean it out. There we go. That's better. Fixed. That's what happens when you forget to mask off an area. But anyway, guys, so that's pretty much the deal there. That's two different stencils. We were using the medium mecha stencil, the hex mesh, medium hex mesh stencil from the mecha line, and then the Evil Elven Tribal Smaller stencil that just came out. And yeah, so that's it. So you could see that was what, 45 minutes or so?
Yeah, very quick.
About 45 minutes, and you got a whole Venom ready to go. All you'd have to do is maybe like paint a couple highlights and paint these two like gemstones, and you're good to go.
And the only thing that was done prior to the video was just the black base.
Primer, that's all.
Very quick.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next Thursday, where I'm either going to do more Nurgle or I'm going to do more Dark Eldar. One or the other. Not sure yet. But that's where I'm at right now. So have a good week, stay safe, and keep painting stuff. And I'll see you guys next week.